Gibson, and our guest tonight is Steve Calhoun of Armed and Dangerous. And right now, let's introduce you to our gentlemen who are going to be walking the crowd, our Monty Halls, so to speak, John Conti and Dan DeForest. How you guys doing? Hey, glad you guys made it, man. No idea what John says, but he got him riled up already. You gotta love it. All right, we're here at Rock and Brew in Tustin, and this is Prep Sports Media in conjunction with LA 36, bringing this presentation of Prep Sports Spotlight. We're happy to join us. Every Wednesday we will be here with a school. Tonight it's Beckman night of Irvine. The team's here, got a lot of the cheerleaders. The whole student body showed up tonight for tonight's presentation. We're going to have Coach Giuliano up here in a little bit. But right now, let's talk to Steve Calhoun of Armed and Dangerous. Steve, thanks for joining us tonight.
No problem. No, thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to talking football.
That's
that time of the year.
There's nobody out here that knows more about football in high school right now than Steve Calhoun. Armed and Dangerous is what he does, and what he means by that, he coaches quarterbacks. And a lot of elite ones. You got quite a few guys running around Division I, NFL, and high school.
Yeah, absolutely. Over the last 19 years, I've been very fortunate to coach a lot of guys, from Russell Wilson to Nick Foles to my latest, Jordan Love.
Jordan Love, wow.
Absolutely.
So anyway, Steve gets out a lot, knows a lot of people, and he's going to join us and get some insight on what's been going on. Last week was 0 week. This is week number 1 now in the CIF Southern section and the LA City as well. And so there's a lot of action starting to go on now. Let's take a look. First game of the year this year was Mission Viejo taking on Milani of Hawaii. They were the number 2 team in Hawaii. Mission Viejo just went through them like they weren't even there. What about Mission?
Well, they have a lot of returning starters. So they suffered a couple of defeats last year, and all that they learned from losing games last year.
Right.
Had a lot of guys returning, solid quarterback, great receiving core. And, they're going to make a lot of noise in the league this year, and I should see them up for the CIF championship.
Look, the argument is going to be, who's the best public school in Southern California? Is it Corona Centennial or is it Mission Viejo? Yeah. So I think it's going to parse itself out pretty quickly. But I think those are
very good point.
I think those are the 2 best public schools, I think, in Southern California. And I think we're going to find out which one is going to step up and join the ranks with Mater Dei and Bosco.
Absolutely.
That's interesting. We'll have to wait and see about that one. And we're going to talk about Corona Centennial in just a bit. Let's switch gears now and talk about Long Beach Poly. Long Beach Poly used to create fear in all the opponents. All you have to say is it's Poly, the Jackrabbits, and stuff would be happening. But Poly's fallen off the charts for a while, ever since Raul Lara left. And, they come up. They beat Clovis 56-7. They did win a CIF championship last year, but they weren't in the open division.
Correct. Well, when you say Long Beach Poly, there's talent there.
Absolutely.
So they had a little bit of a lull, but now I think Coach Barbie got them rolling again. They got a solid quarterback in Darius Curry and a lot of receivers to throw to.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to be back up there, just like the old Poly used to be.
It's time, man. Long Beach Poly beat St. Francis in the finals last year, but when you look at the population of the schools, Long Beach Poly's got like 6,500 students. St. Francis is an all-boys school. They have maybe 1,000 if they're lucky, if you count the janitor and, the coaching staffs and stuff like that. So, they really need to get back up to that D1.
Well, it's the LBC, man. There's talent all around Long Beach, right? And most of them want to go be Jackrabbits. So they're going to get back. They're going to get back pretty quick. There's not going to be a big lull for Long Beach Poly. They're back. They are back.
They're going to reload every year.
Yep. It's just been some time, and they don't normally go that long without winning something.
That is correct.
And you're right. The talent's all there. And that whole southeast area is just crazy. All right, let's move on. Game last week was Rancho Cucamonga Servite. That was the game I wanted to talk about. Now, I knew Servite was going to fall a little bit. Last year's team was in the finals. They were pretty good last year, but it looks like they've really fallen. They didn't quite reload all the way. Rancho Cucamonga handled them pretty well. They were up 27-0 in that game.
Yeah, definitely. It's really hard to replace the quarterback-receiver tandem that Servite had last year with Noah and T-Mac. So I know they're going to take a little bit of a hit. But a good friend of mine, the head coach of Rancho Cucamonga, Brian Hildebrand, I talked to him this summer, and he told me they were loaded. They had to transfer in the quarterback from Arizona, and I got a chance to work him out when he was in Arizona before he came back, and he's really good, and you saw it last week.
Well, the bottom line is the Trinity League is its own deal, right? Yes. So even within the Trinity, the opportunity to bring players in, I don't want to say recruiting, I don't want to use the word, but the chance to bring players in, man, the competition is stiff within the league to get the best players in, right? So if you don't get that crop in, like Servite looks like it might be a year behind some of the other guys. If you don't bring those guys in right away, it's going to be a long year in the Trinity.
Absolutely.
Now, the quarterback from Orange Lutheran, he's only a sophomore on the team?
Yes.
Man, he had a couple touchdowns, and he had, of course, he tossed the game winner late. And, man, got to be impressed. You know what I'm seeing right now, Steve? I'm seeing a lot of good young quarterbacks coming up now. A lot of freshmen are starting these days.
Yes.
You didn't used to see that in the old days. You didn't even see sophomores starting. Now it's commonplace.
Absolutely. I mean, with the explosion of private quarterback training, a la Armed and Dangerous Football, we have the opportunity to work with them at a real young age and develop them and teach them about defenses and fronts and coverages. So you're just seeing that maturation, through the process of every grade from 8, 9, and, when they get into high school, they're already dialed in, ready to go.
Yeah, there's a lot more than just throwing a football, let me tell you. You got to have the fundamentals, keep the ball up high by your ear, ready to throw, and all this other stuff. But not only that, but being able to read defenses is probably very, it's very important. I mean, let's face it. Talent take you so far, but you got to read those defenses.
There's no doubt about it. I always talk to my quarterbacks about 90% of the game is mental, only 10% is physical, and I really had a chance to experience that, after doing an internship with the Washington Commanders and being around Carson Wentz for a month. I really took that information, and now I can share it with my quarterbacks how important it really is.
I think Servite, a lot of the posters thought that Servite would be back. I mean,
reload.
Drop off. And most of the schools in the Trinity League don't just drop off a cliff,
right.
So.
I mean, but now you have NIL deals that's coming into play that are attracting, players to certain schools. So, I mean, it's not a level playing field right now. So, if you have that to offer.
I did want to talk about the NIL, but since you brought it up, let's bring it up now. So it came out, St. John Bosco, the way it was announced was the fact that they had an NIL deal, and they made it sound like they did one for the whole school, and they were going to trickle down all the players. That's not exactly what happened, because that's illegal. Now, I don't know if somebody misspoke and sent that memo out early or what, but it didn't look good. It wasn't a good look.
Well, I mean, that's just the lay of the land right now.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't have an NIL deal in place for high school kids, they're really looking. They're signing with agents and representatives now to go out and try to find them the best deal, for high school. Not college, but high school.
Well, let's talk about Bronny James. Bronny James came out, and he's already got, $5 million in underwear deals and a couple other things, which I can understand, being who his father is.
Yes.
It'd be easy for him to get those deals. He's not going to be the standard or the benchmark.
No, definitely not. I mean, but I had worked at the Manning Passing Academy this summer again for my 10th year, and got a chance to talk to Arch Manning, and he didn't say it, in any certain terms, but his NIL deal was around $12 million to go to University of Texas. So you're talking about $12 million.
I think that eligibility. I'm going back, baby. I'm going back.
I think the question now too is going to be, it's always a divide between public and private, right?
Yes.
So now the question is going to be, will somebody with connections to a public school step up and create an NIL deal for a public school where they can bring in some players and they can kind of narrow that gap a little bit, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's the wild, wild west right now. The genie is out of the bottle. I'm not sure where it's going to go, but it's going to be a lot of players switching schools because of NIL deals.
Yep.
So
for sure. The four schools and 4-year kids is going to become more common, I think, coming up here.
I got eligibility. I had knee surgery my senior year, man. I got a year left. I'm going back, yeah. Heck yeah, I'm going to be Tom Brady. All right. Speaking of Mission Viejo, they're going to play Servite this week.
Yes.
Now, if there was ever a week that if I'm Mission Viejo, I'm going to let them have it, is because last year they did us dirty, man. They beat us by 50 points. It was 44-7 or something like that. But they laid it on Mission Viejo last year. I would not feel bad at all, and I would not blame Mission Viejo at all for paying back Servite. That's the way it goes.
Yeah. I mean, Mission Viejo is loaded. You know, Chad Johnson's a good friend of mine. Troy Thomas is a friend of mine. I work for Troy, so I know. But talking to Chad and all the returners they have, all the players that they're going, that are going to D1, they're going to have a really good team, and Servite better come prepared this Friday.
Yeah. It's going to be a good game. I just think they're going to have some payback in mind. And I don't blame them.
Yes. No.
I'm not for running up the score on anybody. Like with Corona Centennial this week, 85-0. Not Corona's fault. It's not their fault.
That was not right. That was fourth and fifth string guys were in the game in the second half, right? So, and those guys were still better than the other kids across from them. So when you're running the football like they do, there's nothing you can do about that. Nothing you can do at all.
Nothing at all. Where's Conti at? He's got a bit. All
there
right.
he is.
All right.
They're out there.
All right. We're going to have Coach Giuliano coming up with us in a little bit here. Steve, let's talk about the big game this week that everybody's talking about. It's a game with national implications. Yes. In my opinion, if Gorman can pull this off and somehow beat Bosco,
yes,
they're it. They're it.
Yeah.
They're it. I'm not going to say whoever wins this game has the inside track, because Modern Day is already number one.
Yes.
But Gorman will have a say.
Yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to this game. I mean, it's going to come down to the quarterback play. You know, you got the kid Micah from Gorman, and then you got Elijah from Modern Day. They're both young, talented quarterbacks that have full control of their offense, and I'm looking for a shootout. I'm looking for a game to be in the 40s, 42 to 45 type deal. So I'm excited to see it.
Look at last week. Modern Day went to Salt Lake, played West, beat 42-0. Gorman hosted one of Utah's teams and beat them 42-7. So that's all we have to measure this game by. That's it. We've got nothing else to go by. At least they both picked on the state of Utah.
Yep, that's it.
What are you going to do?
Well, I think I don't think the travel's going to come into play. Modern Day has to go out to Gorman. I don't think that's going to come into play. I don't think the heat is going to come into play, because I think Coach Rollins is going to have it.
Practicing in the heat the last 2 weeks, man.
Exactly.
400 degrees out here at least.
Pretty hot here.
It's been ridiculous.
Rollo's going to have it ready to go.
Oh, yeah, he always does.
Elijah Brown hasn't lost a game yet as a starting quarterback at Modern Day. He's 18 in a row, looking for 19 this week. Last week it said, what do you have, 4 or 5 touchdown passes last week?
Yes.
I mean, he ate them up. So I got to see what happens against a real good defense, and this will be a big challenge for him. But every week in that Trinity League's a big challenge for everybody.
Yeah, I would love. You're talking about public schools. I mean, Modern Day's only great, but one public school we haven't talked about is Los Al. Not to change the subject, but they do have one of the top quarterbacks in the country.
Yeah.
But to get back to that Modern Day Gorman game, it's going to be a shootout. I know it's going to be packed. The Gorman fans are going to be rowdy, and they're going to give Modern Day all they can handle.
I'm thinking about leaving. I'm thinking about going to that game. Seriously, man. We're going to be talking to some schools out of state as we're going to be expanding our reach here pretty quick to outside of out of California. All right. All right. So
real quick, I'm glad you brought up Los Alamitos, because are we disrespecting them a little bit by not putting them in the conversation with Centennial and with Mission Viejo?
I think so. I mean, they have a lot of talent. They have a lot of D1 guys committed. I'm not sure. Are they going to play Santa Margarita? Is it on their schedule like they played last year?
Yeah, I believe so.
That's going to be a nice test, and we're going to get a chance to see Malachi Nelson.
Sal's got a good test this week. They're playing Heritage. I can't remember their ranking right now, but they're nationally ranked team, and that's where Los Al. If Los Al can win this week, it'll definitely establish them as probably a top 15 team in the country. If they beat Heritage, because they're up there, they're a top 25 team. All right, let's move on. Last week, and this is confusing some people, so it's kind of glad we don't have the graphics up right now. We have Centennial, of course, winning 85-0 over Santiago, but it was Cathedral Catholic beating Modern Day Catholic. Two of the big powers in football in California, and Cathedral Catholic just went right through them. So I'm thinking Centennial's going to get a good challenge this week. They're not going to get some dog with fleas.
No, not at all. I mean, that Centennial offense is unbelievable. They have a two-headed monster at quarterback, with Carson and Izzy Carter. Coach Logan is always have those kids prepared. They have a bunch of talent. They're going to be coached up. It's going to be an exciting game to watch. I'm looking forward to it.
It's crazy, man. It's going to be a good game. Bob, you got anything to add about that game? Cathedral Catholic is ranked 6th in California. Coronel Centennial ranked 6th in the nation. 6 on 6, all right? All right. Long Beach Poly, Sarah. This is a game. Sarah always beats Poly. I don't know how. They just do.
Yeah, you know, the last couple of years they've had their number. You had, the quarterback Malik that ended up, signing with Texas. He was a big part of those wins. He's just really played at a high level. But it really came down to, turnovers. I actually got a chance to see one of those games. And if you have a lot of turnovers in those games, the offenses are able to capitalize quickly with the skilled players that they have on both sides of the ball.
Hey, Sarah's coming in angry, man. Sarah's coming in off a loss.
They got to win. They have to win this game.
No, you're right. To stay in the conversation, they got to win.
Just to stay in the conversation. Very good way to put it, Bob. Yeah. By the way, back to one thing I forgot to mention about Mater Dei and Gorman. They played twice, and I don't think Gorman's beat them yet. All right? So the last time they beat him, it was bad. It was 42-0. But the year after Gorman won the national titles, Mater Dei beat him. They beat him, what? That was like 35-21 or something like that. So they've never beaten them, so we'll see what happens, You're going to get them now.
We're going to find out.
Steve, real quick, tell us about what you do, where you do it, and go ahead and, we talked a little bit about some of the guys you've coached, but, you got Tyrod Taylor, you got a lot of guys in the NFL.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been very, very fortunate to work with several guys, from high school to college and college to the NFL. So now that the season started, I get a chance to kind of sit back and watch all those guys play. Definitely get a chance to watch my son play. He's a defensive back for the Miami Dolphins, Nick Needham. But, of course...
why you DB? How can you not play quarterback, man? We got Dad over here.
Exactly. He did not want me to tell him to cut the grass, take the trash out, and keep his elbow up and keep the ball high, like you had mentioned. But yeah, definitely. During the season, I run what I call tune-up camps for quarterbacks. It's a 2-hour workout on Sundays. The first one will be September 4th. And the next one will be September 18th. They're going to be every other week for 2 hours at Santa Ana Valley High School from 8:30 to 10:30. So, like I said, it's a tune-up for quarterbacks from 8th grade to 12th grade. And, quarterbacks is such a tough position. I really run the camp just to keep quarterbacks sharp because there's so many things that can happen with their mechanics and their footwork.
Yeah, but it's $50 million a year if you get to the top right now. By the time somebody's going to be $100 million pretty soon.
Exactly.
So might want to get your kids hooked up with Steve and get them in the NFL.
Right.
Even as a DB. Even as a DB, man.
There's plenty of money in the NFL. Plenty of money to go around.
Anyways, hey, Steve, thanks for joining us, man. Really a pleasure having you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And hang around. We might call you up here in a little bit.
Absolutely.
All right.
Appreciate you guys.
Hey,
okay.
Do me a favor and take off your mic. Place it on the table. Coach is coming up. All right. Where's John Conti? All right.
Let's get out to the crowd a little bit.
Yeah, I thought we would. All right.
How are we doing out there?
Let's throw it out there.
I think John's directing traffic a little bit. John's directing some traffic.
He's got to go.
There he is. There they are.
Something just happened. Coach.
I'm just going to click that.
How do you like Beckman so far?
I love Beckman. It's been great. It's been a really great experience, and the community is lovely.
Now, what made you pick Beckman High School?
I picked Beckman High School for their sports and career path. It is where you start freshman year and you work all the way up through senior year, and we can graduate with an AA and some several credits.
Wow, that's great. So, where do you plan on going to college?
Probably Colorado State.
All right. Well, you're going to play soccer.
Yes.
What do you like most about soccer?
Definitely the team. Team's great. We have a great skill level, and it looks like a promising season.
Back to Rich.
Thank you very much. All right. We just got done getting something to eat. Now we're back. We're feeling good.
Thank you, John and Dan.
Thanks, John and Dan. Man, it's a little loud in here tonight. Can't hear too much, but that's okay as long as you at home heard all that. Hey, joining us on the set now is Coach Marcelo Giuliano, the head coach at Beckman High School. Coach. Let's hear it for Coach, baby. All right. Coach, first of all, thanks for joining us tonight. I know you got a game tomorrow. It's hard to get people in here on Wednesdays before game day, but thanks for coming in. Coach, this year you got your team coming back. You got a tale of two cities. You got a young offense and you got a really tested defense. Tell us a little bit about it, about your club.
Well, I think a couple of things about this team are that we have this strange thing where we've got a little bit of experience, but we're still so young. We had so many freshmen and sophomores pressed into duty just out of necessity last year, and so having those guys come back is hopefully that flattens the learning curve in terms of growing up a little bit on the football field. And then we have some seniors who've been with us starting since they were sophomores, and they bring a little bit of stability, some returning all-league guys. So, we'll need that leadership when it matters, when the bullets are flying and it's chaotic on Friday nights.
Yeah. So why don't you talk about some of the players on your ball club? Let's talk about your offense first. Who's getting the nod tomorrow at QB and down the line?
Well, we had a tough competition, and we're going to start out with the returning starter from last year. Nick Molina's his name. Unbelievable competition, and then the Austin Shepard, the other QB that was in the battle, he just immediately became our starting free safety. He's a super impact player on defense. He's super strong and physical. So look for both of those guys to make a huge we'll need our senior tailback, Jonathan Sandoval, to really carry the load this Friday night for sure, while some of our younger offensive linemen and wide receivers kind of get their sea legs underneath them.
It's tough, man, coming in with Servite's fun. They're not out right now. I mean, they have a young team, too. They're coming back after a championship season, and they're struggling. So it's hard sometimes when you have young players coming in. Then again, sometimes you find those Elijah Browns, man, or you find those Bryce Youngs, they just come in as freshmen and just tear it up. Coach, talk about your defense now. You said you had finally have a little bit of depth at defensive line. You got a couple of linebackers coming back that were all league. Tell us about your D.
Well, the defensive side is where we're the most blessed with some experience. Like the strong side of our defense, our strong side outside linebacker, Vincent Kim, who's a returning all-league player. Our strong side middle linebacker, Christian Taylor, who I'm hoping to be able to bring up here in a little bit. He's going into his third year starting. He started for us as a sophomore. And then we have a couple of returning starters on the defensive line. So the defensive front brings some depth and experience, but we have all new starters in the defensive secondary. So but they're doing a fantastic job. They've done a great job learning the system, and so I feel real confident that they'll be able to back up, the stout play in the defensive front.
Coach, you played a 14 league, right? Correct. So very, very small league campaign, right? So it really makes a big difference the way you schedule your non-league campaign, because that's the bulk of what you play. I mean, that league schedule at the end goes really quick.
Well, as a matter of fact, we're actually in a conference, and it's an 8-team conference.
Well, correct.
And so we're locked into playing the 4 teams from the other league as well. So we actually have less freedom in scheduling our preseason than we used to. But what we get is a lot of parity within that conference system. So we're starting out this week with Bellflower High School, same as we did last year, and they got
to Bellflower.
What's up?
You're traveling to Bellflower this
We are at Bellflower this time, Ron Yeri Stadium.
Oh, that stadium is kind of weird. It's so huge on one side.
Right.
It goes up to heaven. I mean, it goes literally. It touches the stratosphere. That's how high that thing. I remember when they built it.
Give Ron Yeri a plug, because didn't he make the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, he did.
California Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and Yeri Photography. Yeah. I mean, the Yeri brothers, man. Downey High guys, But it's a nice little stadium, nice place to play some football.
Now, back to your question,
yes.
though, it is a strange thing where, you go through the season and you're already at week 8 before it's like, okay, guys, now we're looking for placement in league. So usually you're getting into that league contest and the contest for the playoffs a lot earlier.
Right.
Coach, I got to do this because I said I would coming in tonight. I had a group of people telling me about how great number 67 Gomez was. And I said, you know what? You guys are giving me this. I'm going to ask Coach about this. I'm going to embarrass you on the air. Who's going? They're campaigning. They said he's going to be the next Ranieri. What do you got?
Well, you know, that might be a little premature. Yeah, young Joe Gomez has never played football before, so this is going to be, tomorrow is going to be his first real live action. So I love the confidence. He's had a great fall camp, but it's still his first football game.
That is awesome.
Man, they came in all happy. They had his jersey on. They were sitting right over there. Gomez! What's going on?
I can't let it go without saying how many people are here with us tonight. Our cheer team is in the corner. We have all of our lower level coaches and players here. We have alumni parents here. We have teachers from the school here and administrators. Like, this is unbelievable support in the crowd. We're super fired up.
September 9th, we're going to put you guys on TV. You're going to play Calvary Chapel. How excited are you to be able to show what you can do on TV?
On the big screen.
Yeah. Well, we are extremely excited, like, to have this opportunity come around. Tonight is wonderful to be able to kick off the Pret Sports Zone season with, you know, getting the interview, but then to really be able to play the game on TV. Yeah. It's something that our kids have never been able to do. I mean, even in the COVID season, we weren't live streaming, so this is different. But to get the coverage, it's great exposure for the school and for our guys, and we're really excited.
We broadcast on mainstream TV in LA and in Orange County, be streamed on Prep Sports America.
You know, our administration and our staff has put in a ton of work to completely revamp the experience of games. So we're super excited to get that publicized and get that out on the airwaves.
A lot of cheerleaders here and a lot of football players. Let's go to John Conti right now. John and Dan have something going on.
Guys, I want the freshman coaches. Listen, you got to start somewhere. You want to work your way to varsity, you got to go through the freshman program first. I'm coaching these guys. Head coach James Richardson, Coach B, Coach Boyce. We're all part of the freshman program. How long have you been coaching at Beckman?
This is my 5th year now coaching at Beckman. I started actually my first year teaching as well. It was kind of a weird circumstance because I wasn't sure if I was going to be coaching starting off, and there was a position open, so I took it. Next year, I started up being the head coach, and here we are now. So it's going well.
And he was a heck of a high school quarterback. And we have Coach B. Coach B, you've been coaching up that defense now so well. How do you think we're looking this year on the defensive side of the ball?
We're very well balanced. We got kids that can actually fly around, get to the ball. I think we got enough athletes. We have a lot of depth this year, so we're looking really strong.
Hey, Coach Boyce, anything to add about our team, how we're looking this year?
Boys coming along great. Coach is doing a great job. They've come a long way since spring ball, and everything's going into place right now. We're going to have a great game on Thursday.
Yep, we're looking forward to our first matchup against Bellflower. So this is your staff at Beckman. Come join Beckman High School football. Here's your staff. We'll be right there. Thank you so much, guys.
Hey, John, you got a parting gift for you. Come here. Come here, John. Find these two guys.
Okay,
Find these two guys. All right. Set them up for an interview. Set them up. All right. Yep.
We're bringing them up.
All righty. Anyways, John Conti out there and Dan DeForest out there in the crowd raising Cain with everybody.
And we're going to hear from Dan a little bit later, man. We're talking top 10. Dan's going to challenge us a little bit with the top 10. Right. We're going to talk to him in a little bit.
Top 10? All right, let's throw it up. We're going to look at 4 top 10s.
Here we go.
Any of them. Throw them up, we'll read them. It's chaotic tonight, and here we go.
Let's go.
This is the California top 10, baby.
Top 10.
Let's take a look at this. And it looks a lot like the Southern Section top 10 with the exception of De La Salle. And we have Cathedral Catholic.
Right.
Cathedral Catholic may fall out after they play Corona. Or maybe not. Maybe not.
Southern California heavy right there. By the way, our top 10 presented by Level Up right there, as you can see up on your screen. We appreciate Level Up. That is SoCal heavy. One team from Northern California up there. But that's pretty much how things go these days.
De La Salle just isn't quite De La Salle anymore.
No, not like they were in the glory days.
That's okay.
Not like they were in the glory days. Still pretty good.
What are you going to do?
Not quite that good.
What are you going to do? All right, let's go to the next one, Larry. As we have several of them to look at. This is the national top 10. All right. Looks like Southern Jackson again. You got Modern Day and Bosco at the top. Followed by St. Thomas Aquinas. Those guys are pretty darn good. We're going to find out what they're about. I believe they're going to mix it up with IMG.
It's the same people. Look at this. St. Francis, Chandler, Westlake. Come on, Central.
No, well, that's Westlake, Texas, and that's St. Francis, Maryland, my friend. You got Bosco Modern Day, Corona Centennial from California. And Buford beat Thompson last week. That was 10 playing 15 last week. And, of course, you got Chandler from Arizona, always good. And we'll see what happens. I mean, Bishop, Modern Day and Bosco will play each other probably twice.
Yep.
Bishop Gorman's going to play both of those guys once. Centennial will get them in the playoffs one way or another.
Centennial will get their shot.
So I expect all these teams in the top 10 to remain in the top 10 even after they beat each other bloody.
That is true.
Because I'll tell you right now, none of these other guys are playing the schedule. Nobody.
Nobody close to that.
Coach, that's you got to admit, that'd be a pretty good schedule right there. A couple of JC teams would have problems with that. A lot of problems with
Beckman
that.
wants their shot, too.
Next one. Let's go to the next one. As we just got that looking at Level Up's National Top 10. And now we're going to get into the Prep Sports Night Live Top 10. And look at that, Bob. Looks again like the national.
5 teams tied at 10? Come on.
About 5 teams right now. That's what I heard.
Pick a team at number 10.
You couldn't do it. Everything came back, and it was 5 teams. Everybody got about 6 of those teams. That's what we're stuck at right now.
Well,
Bob.
this makes sense, though, right?
It's early.
No, this makes sense right here. I think Pauly might be a little high. We'll see. The bottom end of this will kind of, the water will find.
We're going to find out how
top 4 or 5 teams right there will stay that way pretty much all year.
We're going to find out how good Long Beach Poly really is this week when they play Sarah. Because Sarah, like you said, they're going to play angry. They always play Poly good. They're not afraid of Long Beach Poly. They never have been. All right, one more, Larry. We got one more. Our director, Larry Savala.
I love it.
No Love Club.
Love.
Corona Del Mar. Now, these are the teams that are pretty darn good. Every one of them probably was in a final last year or got pretty close. Yep. St. Francis played Poly in the finals. Birmingham was the CIF champion. Northwood got into a final. St. Anthony was in a final. Aquinas won. Loera won. Arlington either won or was in the finals. Northview finished, I think, second. Foothill won and Corona Del Mar.
Look at number 2, Coach.
Go ahead.
Number 2.
I got a shout to my buddy at Loera, Lance Neal, the head football coach.
Did good last year.
He was one of my coaches in high school. I coached with him for
Still
years.
around too,
We
huh?
coached together in San Diego. We go way, way back. That was an awesome season for the Saxons.
He was ready for a while over at Beckman too.
Yes, he was.
Yep.
And this is all over the place. You got 2 Orange County schools, then you go up into the San Gabriel Valley with Northview, Arlington's in Riverside, Loera and Anaheim. Aquinas is up in the high desert. St. Anthony, of course, is in Long Beach. Northwood and Irvine. Birmingham is in the valley, San Fernando Valley, baby. And, of course, St. Francis, I believe, is up near Pasadena.
Dan DeForest. Dan. Top 10 time, buddy. Top 10. Where did we get it right? Where did we miss it? What did we get right? What did we miss? Top 10.
That's it.
I was 8 for 8 on the top 10.
He's got
Had a couple upsets. I did not put Servite in the top 10. They were returning only 1 starter. I think we talked a little earlier about that. But, yeah, I really like the Poly team. They're great on both sides of the ball, and their offensive line is very strong and very powerful, and you covered that a little bit too. So those are my picks, Los Alamitos this week and Poly.
There you go. See, Dan's big on Poly this year. I told you, Dan's big sleeper team this year is Long Beach Poly.
All right, I'll go with that.
I'm going to go with that too.
I'll
We're going to keep an eye on that one. Thank you, Dan.
I thought if Poly was going to get up, it would have been, a couple of years ago. But I mean, once Laura left, it just hasn't been anything. They have so much talent, but it doesn't produce results.
It goes to show you how much Polo head coach can have, I think.
Yeah.
And Laura really was that program for a long time. Those kids wanted to play for him. We know what kind of a figure he is and how he brings people together. So you're right. They lost a little bit when Raul left over there, but I think they're back, right? It's just too much talent in that city. And these kids grow up, they want to be Long Beach Poly Jackrabbits, right?
Yeah.
They want to wear that green and gold uniform. So there's so much history. So many guys have gone on to the NFL, big-time college programs. So Poly's back. I really have that feeling.
We'll see.
I know.
That's all I can say. We'll see. I want to ask Coach Giuliano. Coach, the NIL situation, it's in college now. Let's leave it there for now. What do you think of it? Long overdue? Is it way, they paid him way too much?
Well, I guess I got to be careful how I speak, but I believe for a long time that college football players should have been getting some money out of it. They bring so much income and value to the university. I'm not 100% convinced that this is the right way to do it. I think there's, Coach Calhoun, when he was up here, he used all the good metaphors. So, like, we could say the genie's out of the bottle again, or it's the Wild West again, but that's sure what it feels like. And I think it's moving faster than any of the controls that might have been put in place to manage it. But the money piece for the players, for what they put on the line for the glory of the university and the bottom line of the university, that part is long past due. I don't know enough about the system to have an educated response, but it sure seems like it might need some controls or some guardrails.
I would agree with you 100% on that.
NIL deals have been going on for years in college sports. I'm not going to name any colleges, but you can name any Division I school, and they paid people to go there. There's no question. Cam Newton, when his grandfather misspoke, let it all out of the bag, but of course nothing happened. So it was fine. Just deny it. After he said it, you deny it.
Guys getting payments for a long time.
Tom Flores, our friend Tom Flores, we were sitting with John Robinson one day at the radio station, and we were talking, and didn't Tom Flores say that Marcus Allen had to take a pay cut when he left USC? And he wasn't kidding. He was not kidding. He said he got more money. And they can say that now. They can say it now. They're retired. They can't go back 30, 40 years, bust anybody.
Look, players talking about how a Trans Am just showed up one day, there was keys in a car, and hey, well, okay, right, these things happen.
Now we're going to talk about the high school in a minute. Hey, let's remind everybody about our sponsors. Let's go ahead and have a quick look. Tonight's program sponsored in part by these people right here. These people are big prep sports fan. That's Rock and Brews. That's where we're at right now.
Yeah.
Enjoying ourselves here. Class place, and everybody loves it. Rock and Brews.
City of Tustin, right here.
Right. And continuing on with Ream, the new degree of comfort. Anything to do with plumbing, they can tankless water heater, anything. Ream's got it all. And the new degree of comfort, I like that. Who's that?
DeForest Realty, of course.
How'd that get in?
Dan DeForest.
How did that get in
The
here?
Destroyer selling homes
You saw
all
that.
up and down the West Coast.
You saw Dan here. He sells it all, man.
DeForest Realty.
Modern Woodmen, fraternal fan. These guys are fantastic. They're
Yeah,
big supporters of what we do. Very big supporters.
Thank you to Elizabeth with Modern Woodmen, Fraternal Financial. They do a lot of good work in the community. Modern Woodmen.
Love those guys. All right, Lighthouse Escrow. And, of course, I haven't seen Steve here tonight. Dustin
Stevie is he's in the house somewhere. He's floating around.
He's smart. He's out of this crowd. Have you seen this crowd? It's dangerous.
Level Up Cycle House in Costa Mesa.
Yes,
thank you to Max Quintana. Level Up Cycle House.
They are the sponsor of the top 10, and if you want to be in the top 10, go there. Level Up. And by Suzuki, one of our partners. We're proud to have Suzuki supporting Prep Sports Media and Prep Sports America. These guys are fantastic. Appreciate
so much.
all the sponsorships that these guys are bringing. And we'll do better on the spots next time, man. This is the first show tonight. It's a little hectic. Everybody's got things going on.
Right.
The crowd's having a good time. Now, Coach.
Can I put a plug in?
Absolutely, Coach. We're going to give you that.
We're sitting here. I'm under a banner with Kiss and makeup, and there's Ozzy posters on the wall. I feel like I'm broadcasting from the Boneyard.
From the Boneyard.
We cannot have
from in 1990 or something like that.
We could not have picked a better place to put our show here, guys.
This
not have picked a better place than Rock and Brews right here.
I was
this
in high
is
school
awesome.
in the 70s, and this is all that was out there. All these guys were there.
These are the guys. These are the guys.
You got Keith Richards over there. You got
so
everybody
much
up
fun.
here. Fantastic. All right, so now Bronny James has gone out and got his own NIL deal, but like Sayep told Bosco, You can't use any likenesses. You can't use Bosco's name. You can't use their uniform. You can just do it for yourself. Then Bronny James goes out and gets an underwear deal. I mean, it's been rumored. You hear so much stuff. You don't know what it is, but they're saying he's already got like $5 million in endorsements just to, proselytize underwear, Bob.
Yeah, well, when your dad is LeBron James, first of all, your name's Bronny James, so you're going to get, right off the bat, you're going to get deals, right? It's going to happen.
He's not the norm.
No, right, you're right. He's not the norm, right? And there's a lot of kids out there that are going to get deals that because of a Bronny James coming in, or because of some of the bigger names that we're going to see. So it's going to be a domino effect for some of these kids.
Now, let me ask you, Coach. So I'm a college coach now, and I got a kid out there making more money than me over the next 4 years. How's that work? How does that work? Because they're going to tune out.
I don't think anybody knows. Like, it's even the transfer portal changed. Some coaches, like that they felt like they couldn't coach the same way. I can't even imagine when the power structure flips. Obviously it's always been a player-driven sport, but when the power is so firmly in the players' hands, I don't think anyone knows.
No, we're going to find out real quick, though. Let's go to the sideline. I think John Conte's got somebody with him.
He's the equipment manager. He's the guy that everybody calls upon at Beckman High School. Coach, I understand you're a Long Beach Poly alumni, so you were happy to hear them in the top 10.
Yes, top 10, class of 83, Jackrabbits for life.
Well, you don't have to date yourself. But, Coach, hey, we just want to thank you for being such an integral part of what we do at Beckman. And, the safety and everything depends on all this equipment, and you do such a great job. We just wanted to bring you on TV and personally thank you for making this program great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Go Beckman.
Go Beckman.
Managers, coach, mean everything, right? They really do, man.
Well,
They're
we
so
couldn't operate without them, that's for sure.
That's it, man. Guys like that, the support staff, right? I mean, talk about your coaches and your support staff a little bit, and how important they are to the whole. You're the head coach, you're up here, right? You're the guy in charge. But without all those guys, you couldn't do any of this.
Well, she's going to kill me for this, but our athletic secretary, Sissy Oberlin, is here tonight. We couldn't operate without her. We can't operate without Coach Galloway. And our staff has been together now for several years, and we've got great continuity. So all these people make all this possible, along with obviously all the parents and the boosters that are here supporting the program. But top to bottom, there's a ton of support for Beckman football at our high school.
Perfect. All right, you got more.
Who's number 50 over there? Is that your guy we're going to talk to?
I can't see it.
What do we got? Let's go to John and Dan.
Oh, number 8,
we got, look at this.
60. Here
Look
we
at
go.
this.
Hey.
Bring your microphone. All right.
You got to get in the screen here, fella.
Slide him over. Let's slide over. Bring him over.
Bring him on over.
I'll bow out of this. All right, guys. Coach, introduce us to your guys. Hold on.
As promised, I brought a couple of members of the defensive front. On my right is Andres Pineda. He's actually a legacy player. He's the last of the Pineda boys to play football here at Beckman. He's a returning starter at nose guard. And next to me is Christian Taylor, also a returning starter at linebacker. So both part of our defensive front.
Which one's the linebacker? 50?
Number 8's the linebacker.
All right. What are you, outside, inside? Inside? Yeah. So you guys got a good linebacking core this year, huh?
It's pretty good.
Because of you?
I think as a linebacker core.
I'm kidding with you, man. We're going to give you a bad time up here. Don't look scared, man. Don't do that. Bring him a soda, John. Give him a glass of water.
So is the defense really the strong point of this football team?
I think the defense is one of the strong points in this football team. I also believe the offense is good too, but I feel like we have more returners on defense than defense.
I'll tell you what. Why don't you guys pass that microphone back and forth when you're talking, all right?
So obviously, week 0, you guys you didn't play, right? So you got to see a lot of other teams that started their season. How much you guys chomping at the bit to get going here? How much are you chomping at the bit, really, to get going here and get your first game under your belt?
We're just trying to practice every day the best we can. Just coming to practice with the right attitude and mindset, and just trying to win our first game.
Hit him up. Oh, sorry.
Right. No. How excited are you for the first game?
Very excited for the first game. Like, it's my last game of school football, and hopefully it's a good one.
What do you say?
He said it's his last game or last game, and he's excited to play it.
That's it for the seniors, right? And every game means that much more your senior year. It really does. It really does.
Take it over, man.
Yeah. No, it's good stuff. So, how was that competition in practice, right? Offense versus defense, right? How's that competition going?
Well, I think that our scout team has been doing very preparing us for our teams, or our first team right now.
But now it's time to go hit somebody else, right?
Now it's time to go hit somebody else.
All right, let's get to the hard hitting stuff. What kind of hobbies you got? Give me this microphone back. What kind of hobbies you got?
I just like watching movies and TV shows, and then I play video games here and there.
Video games? All right. I'd ask you a lot about that, but I don't know too much about it. If it's beyond like Pong and Pac-Man, I ain't got nothing for you. What about you, bud? What do you do?
Yeah, I like to watch movies and TV shows as well, and I like to walk my dog.
Yeah?
So yeah, that's the main thing I do.
So you guys aren't like lumberjack on the weekends or go water skiing or anything like that? It's just mainly...
I skied a couple times, but no, I don't know what water skiing is.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's talk about what you guys are going to... How do you think you guys are going to play this year?
I think as long as we come in with the right attitude and the right mindset and the right intensity, that we'll have a pretty successful season.
You should, man. So tell us about your teammate here. What's up with this guy? Are you really good or what?
Pineda? I believe he came last year when one of our nose tackles got injured, and I feel like he filled the role very well, and he was a very pivotal part of the defensive line.
That's cool, man. That's good. You see, that's your teammate talking like that about you. You should bond over that. Now tell me about this dude.
Christian Taylor, very good player. Like first year playing at Beckman, he was already an all-league player. So and he was playing like varsity before I was. So very traits to be an all-league player for their first year. Very good.
All right. So real quick, you guys were around, during all the restrictions from the flu bug that was going around. How hard was that to deal with and keep your mind on football? What'd you guys do?
I feel like it was pretty hard to just focus on what was almost important, because it seemed like that the pandemic was pretty much in everybody's lives and affected in a major way. Like, we really had to just do school pretty much online. Mostly nobody really came to in person, so it kind of just was like a lifestyle shock for everybody. And so we just had to focus on what was important.
Did you get to work out at all by yourself or with anybody, any of your friends?
We got to work out at our school's gym, so with masks obviously, and social distance. So that was luckily, we were lucky to have that.
All right. So what was it like coming back from that? I mean, your first practice. I mean, everybody just looking at each other like, dude, you're fat. You need to get in shape. Because everybody was sitting around. It happened to everybody. It wasn't just, I doubt it happened to you guys, but you know what I mean. You come back and you've been away for a while, and a lot of people are looking different, man.
When the pandemic hit, I actually probably got to around 200 pounds, probably. And then throughout the football season, because we had an extended season of practicing, I probably dropped down to 180.
Wow.
So 20
pounds.
Yep.
Man, you look solid. You look good.
Thank you.
You look strong.
Thank you.
How about your boy over here?
Yeah, during the pandemic, the restrictions were mainly early pandemic. We couldn't even go to weight room or practices or anything. Nothing. So I just worked out. I filled a backpack with rocks and I did push-ups and stuff.
Good for you.
And then for school-wise, I guess it was easier because I could just basically log on to my class.
Roll out of bed, man.
Yeah, roll out of bed. But it was kind of hard to learn some of the subjects while social distance. And then going back to practice, we had to wear masks at first in our helmets, which we didn't have to wear during games, but during practices it was kind of hard to breathe in those. But over time we went back to normal, and it was really good.
All right. Hey, John, we still got 10 minutes, so chill out. No.
Is it us?
Go. Young Con.
Hey, we're going to do some Beckman Trivia over here. Beckman Trivia. First of all, we want to thank Rock and Brews for the venue. Ryan, General Manager of Rock and Brews, thank you so much, man, putting on a great event for us tonight.
My pleasure, John. So great to be a part of this and with Prep Sports Media. Happy to be here.
I know you guys are such big players in the community, so it's really cool to see all these guys and gals out here enjoying the festivities at Rock and Brew. All right, here's the deal, guys. We're going to do some Beckman Trivia. It's the cheerleaders right here, my lady cheerleaders, against the varsity football players. So would you please introduce yourself?
I'm Haley. I'm Caroline.
I'm Adam.
MK.
All right, here we go. It's going to be 2 against 2. You can talk to each other to figure out the answers. Okay. You got about 10 seconds to figure it out. Ladies are going to go. All right. Okay, here we go. It's all Beckman Trivia. Okay. You ready? What year was Beckman established?
I know it. 04.
04, there you go. One for the ladies. One for the ladies. Okay, here we go. What year was the first graduating class of Beckman?
First graduating class?
2008.
There you go. Hey, we're doing good so far. See, that was a trick question, so we're good. Okay, what does the O stand for in Arnold O. Beckman?
What do you think, girl?
The O in Arnold O. Beckman. Take a guess.
Olsen.
You are. If you guys answer this correct, you win. What is the O in Arnold O. Beckman?
Isn't it Arnold Orville Beckman?
It is Orville Beckman! The boys win in sudden death overtime. But you know what? You girls, thank you for being out here. We really appreciate the cheerleading team. Thank you to the Beckman football team for winning our Beckman High Trivia Challenge. Thank you all so much. Come with me.
All right. Hey, real quick, Coach, we're going to wrap it up real quick. Who would you like to thank?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank everybody that came out tonight. Like I said, we have everyone from parents of upper levels, lower levels. We have alumni parents. We got cheer parents. So I'm super thankful for all these, everybody that came out to support. At school, you know, we've had so much support this off season and through the summer from our athletic directors, Steve Fischel, and our athletic director Monica Salas, who's been working incredibly hard to update our game night experience, working with the band and cheer and dance. She's done an unbelievable job, and of course our administration with Principal Rafter, who's super supportive of all the athletic programs on campus.
Coach, I'd like to thank you for coming out. Thanks to the student body at Beckman. I'd like to also thank Steve Calhoun from Armed and Dangerous for coming out tonight and joining us on our inaugural show. Hey, we'll do better next time, man. It's our first go-round. It's crowded, a couple hundred people in the house. On behalf of Bob Gibson, John Conti, Dan DeForest, I'm Richard Stray saying so long from your friends here at Prep Sports. Next week,